160 players signed up for the December AI-controlled 5 vs 5 Deathmatch Tournament. Last week we whittled that number down to 40 players spread across 8 teams, and today we will see that number reduced to the best 5 players in the winning team gaining glory for their homeworld. We will cover the quarterfinal, semi-final, grand finale, and awards ceremony, where the winning team will get their names etched in the tournament trophy for all time. Each player has been given characters that are Diamond 1 rank, with full winged character stars. Their passive and active abilities are at level 30, and they don't have any weapons or equipment. These were randomly chosen based on their favourite alliance. Today, as always, I'll be joined by the hero of Cadia, Castellan Creed, and together we will commentate on all the matches. So without further ado, let the finals begin! Hello Creed, how are you today?
I am so excited, Jace! This is what we've been waiting for! 8 teams, 40 warriors, all fighting for the ultimate prize! Every swing, every shot, every tactical play today will decide who earns their place in the grand finale and whose names will be etched on that trophy. The stakes? Immense. The glory? Eternal. The explosions? Probably everywhere. I've got a feeling we're about to witness some of the most intense, nail-biting matches in tournament history. Let's light the battlefield and make some legends.
I can't believe we are here at the finals already. It's been such an amazing tournament so far, and I can't wait to see what we have in store for us today.
It feels like just yesterday we were watching 160 warriors spill blood across the galaxy. And now we're down to the best of the best. This tournament has been packed with surprises, brutal comebacks, and more explosions than an orc keg party.
As a fellow competitor, how do you manage to keep your cool when the stakes are so high?
Ah, Jace, the key to keeping your cool when the stakes are sky high? A mix of experience, confidence, and sheer stubbornness. When you face down rampaging orcs, scheming chaos lords, and swarms of tyrannids, a tournament like this feels like a relaxing day at the training yard. But really, it's about focus. You don't think about the pressure or the glory. You think about the next move, the next shot, the next enemy to crush under your boot. And if that doesn't work, a quick sip of mulled Cadian brew will calm the nerves. Steady hands win battles, Jace.
Alright, it's time for the December 2024 Tacticus Deathmatch Tournament Finals! In the first match of the quarterfinals, we have the Imperials from Lavum 8 going up against the Chaos team from Krogar Vermilion.
It's hammer time as the unyielding Lavum 8 squares off against Krogar Vermilion's chaos-infused devastation. With JHG's Arjak smashing his way through every match so far, and Chaos boasting heavyweights like Mike Spellin's Ahriman and Trunkage's Harkin, this is going to be a collision of pure power. Vasto's Ragnar's Berserker Fury might be the edge the Imperium needs, but only if they can weather the storm of chaos spawns. Let the madness begin.
The match kicks off, and as usual, Aryak is straight down the throats of the opposition. Archimatos doesn't like it and surrounds him with demon spawns. The rest of the Chaos team split the fire between the Imperials without doing really much damage. The Imperials counter into the Chaos team, focusing on clearing some of those demon spawns.
I hope things heat up a little. This is a slow-burning match so far.
And it continues like that until Harkin spears Exeter Row out of existence. First blood in the quarterfinals. Ragnar and Tangira are also taken to low health, and Aryak Molnir's a demon and Asmodee finishes the last one. Ragnar seems to have lost his Warhowl this game.
He must have a wolf blocking his throat.
Trunkage's Harkin finishes him off for his second kill. Abraxas and Ahriman combine to take down Fred's Tangira, and Aryak seems to have a set of personal missions to kill all the demon spawns. Asmodee is engaged with Azkor.
Does anyone in this match not start with the letter A?
Asmodee gets surrounded by Abraxas' horrors, and he falls, and then Aryak falls to a smite from Ahriman.
As the first quarterfinal finishes, we see our first semi-finalist, and it's a Chaos team! What a slugfest! Arjak went down swinging. That Space Wolf is made of sterner stuff than most fortress walls. Harkin, though, an absolute menace. First Exeter Row, then Ragnar. It's like he had a checklist and wasn't leaving until it was complete. And our remain smiting. Lavam the Eighth fought valiantly, but Krogar Vermilion just had too many claws, swords, and, let's face it, demons on their side. A brutal, chaotic masterpiece of a match.
The second quarter-final is an all-Xenos affair, and it's the only one this round. It sees the team from Bloviate going up against the team from Quines.
Nah, Bloviate has been a wrecking ball this tournament, with Omnivir, Lupus's boss Gulgort smashing through enemies, and Ow My Ankles the Pattermine unexpectedly turning into a kill-stealing mastermind. Meanwhile, Quines has Rob White's Shosil delivering pinpoint devastation from high ground, and Viard's Aleph Null summoning swarms to disrupt enemy tactics. Expect drones, spores, and orky rage in this one.
It's another small map, and this could lead to a quick one again.
Oh, I love these small maps. Total carnage.
But it doesn't start quickly, the only real damage being the Pattermine from Shosil. Boss Gulgorts has had enough though, and was into the enemy. His team follow up in anger, all except the Pattermine, who doubles back and destroys Athana.
What a move that was.
That push by Gulgorts has closed the distance on Shosil, and that could spell trouble for the Quines team, who had the height advantage. They try their hardest to fill the battlefield with Necrons, but the Orcs are really not happy about that and destroy all the Necrons. The Psykers, Neurothrop and Eldrion combine to take down Aleph Null, while on the other side of the map, the three remaining Quines champions bring Holland's Abhorrent Horror down. Bloviate has surrounded the Quines team, and again we've seen them roll over a Shosil team. Eldrion follows up by killing Onshi.
This team doesn't look like much on paper, but wow! It's the opposition who looks like wet paper fighting against them.
And Zethrion's Neurothrop gets his second kill of the match, and this is over.
Well, that was clinical. Neurothrop and Eldrion played like they had an instruction manual for this fight, and Boss Gulgorts went full wah mode. Poor Shosil, though, sniping from the high ground only works if the high ground isn't suddenly swarming with orcs and Tyranids. Ethana and Aleph Null barely had time to react before they were wiped out, and Anshi looked like he wanted to phone in a resignation letter halfway through. Bloviate might look scrappy, but they've got some serious tournament-winning energy right now.
The third quarter-final has the Imperial team from Chinchidor's Forge 6 fighting against the Xenos team from Pendiculation.
Sinchidar's Forge 6 comes into this match with Adrian Gorniak's sword brother Godswill and Johnny Mansberger Jr.'s Madaneo carving their names into legend with relentless strikes and aerial bombardments. On the Xenos side, Pandiculation has Sir Perfect Prime's Tanksmasha and Packheat Paladin's Wing Prime forming an impenetrable wall of biomass and sheer brute strength. Who will dominate the trenches?
Match 3 begins and Metanio goes straight to the front with the rest of the Imperial team close behind him. Revas closes a distance and goes into Overwatch. Tyrant Guard follows up, Wing Prime closes on the rest of the Imperials, and Tanksmasha brings Metanio down to his knees.
What the hell was that noise?
I don't know, it sounded like someone stepping on a donkey's tail. It certainly confuses the Imperial team though, because they have split apart running from the noise. The Xenos team don't waste any time, and Sarquel is focused down, with Tyrant Guard getting the last hit. Jane Czar then destroys Rosita.
There is so much shouting here, it sounds like a tennis match, not a Tacticus match.
Oh wow, that focus fire is incredible. Every one of Pandiculation's team surrounded Godswill, and Godswill falls to Caton's Jane Czar for her second kill of the game.
That makes a change from her Jane Czar dying first every time.
Yep, and Actus falls to Wing Prime, and this is over.
Wow, with Sinchidor's Forge 6 falling here, that means we will have no Imperials in the semifinals. I can't believe it. Pandiculation didn't just fight. They descended on Sinchidor's Forge 6 like a high fleet on an all-you-can-eat buffet. Jane Czar finally decided to stop dying first every match and instead went for a highlight reel. Tanksmasha bulldozed his way through, and Winged Prime made sure there was nowhere safe to hide. Absolute dominance from Pandiculation. Forge 6 didn't stand a chance. This is a sad day for the Imperium, and a sad day for me. Sergeant Kell, bring me a brew.
Finally, in the last quarter-final, we have the Xenos team of Zerts competing with the Chaos team of Mummon Viridian.
Zerts brings an unstoppable combination of Rory Jineffect's Winged Prime and Mark Doney's Tanksmasha, who have been eating Imperials and Chaos champions for breakfast. On the other side, Momon Viridian has Evans Typhus, who seems to have brought every plague imaginable, and Larry Hudson's Angrax, who stomps across the battlefield like an unstoppable juggernaut. This one promises devastation. Bring your popcorn!
The last quarterfinal starts and Zerts position themselves around the bridges, Commander Shadowsun leading from the front. The Chaos team close the distance and focus Shadowsun. No one dies though. Wing Prime calls in a Tyrannid Swarm. Tank Smasher charges through the map.
Look at that little piggy.
But it's Morgan Ra with the first kill as Archimatos falls.
I think Jane Czar got it, actually.
Typhus drops his filthy wind across the battlefield. Then Thaumachus smites Janezar and Shadowsun, bringing them close to nothing. Wing Prime isn't giving Thaumachus another shot and tries to take him down. Morgan Ra does manage. Janezar and Shadowsun then combine as they take down Angrax. Bastillion pulls one back as he finishes off Shadowsun. Then the Xenos team, understanding the real threat, go fully after Typhus. He doesn't fall, but he is surrounded and nearly killed. ID Sharpie's Bastillion gets a second kill on Janezar. Wing Prime finishes off Typhus, and then they all turn their attention on Bastillion. The dirty Bastillion decides to ignore the easy kills and hits a Tyrannid before one turns around and eats him. The quarterfinals are over.
Well, that was chaotic in every sense of the word. Shadowsun held the front, Jane Czar danced around danger, and Morgan Ra? Oh, Morgan Ra was a stone-cold killer out there. Archimatos and Thaumachus had their moments, but failing to finish Jane Czar and Shadowsun when they had the chance was their undoing. And Bastillion attacking a Tyrannid instead of the champions in front of him? I almost fell out of my chair. Zerts played it smart, focused fire, and made Chaos pay for every mistake. Victory well earned.
These results mean that no Imperial team has made it out of the quarterfinals. What do you think is the reason for that, Creed?
Well, Jace, it's not that the Imperials weren't brave. They were practically throwing themselves into the meat grinder with valor written all over their ceramite armor. The problem is, bravery doesn't always beat a coordinated Xenos ambush or a Chaos Psyker smiting you in the face. Also, let's be honest, some of these Imperials were still following Codex instructions while Tyranids and Chaos were improvising their way to victory. Adapt or perish, that's the lesson here.
The Xenos teams are definitely showing up in this tournament. Are Xenos the best alliance in the game right now?
Right now, it's hard to argue otherwise. The Xenos teams aren't just winning, they're dominating. Whether it's the cold precision of Bloviate, the relentless swarm tactics of Pandiculation, or the devastating focus fire from Zerts, they're showing every faction how it's done. Honestly, if they keep this up, the Imperium might have to start offering treaties, or at least better snacks at diplomatic meetings.
What are the chances that we're going to have an all-Xenos final?
Well, about 3 out of 4, isn't it? Seriously though, unless Krogar Vermilion pulls off some serious warp sorcery or bribes the referee, we're looking at a Xenos versus Xenos grand finale. It's like an Eldar prophecy coming true, except with more explosions and fewer vague metaphors.
Who's leading the race to get the most kills in the tournament?
There are 2 players on 6 kills. Mike Spallon on Ahriman and Callum Smith 7244 on Shadowsun. Both are in the semi-finals, so have chances for more kills. From the others left in the tournament, Zetherian on Neuro Throat is on 5 kills. And then 4 others on 4 kills. Mark you on Eldrion, Almiankle, on the Pattermine Rorigin Effect on Winged Prime, Pack and Heat Paladin on Winged Prime.
Alright, we have our competitors, so let's do the draw for the semi-final of the December Deathmatch Tournament. In match 1, we have
Krogar Vermilion,
and they will face
Bloviate,
and in match 2, that means we have
Zerts,
and they are going to go against
Pandiculation.
What's your initial reaction for the draw, Creed?
Oh, it's spicy. Krogar Vermilion versus Bloviate, Chaos Aggression against Xenos Resilience. That's going to be a brutal slugfest. On the other side, we have Zerts and Pandiculation, 2 Xenos teams with completely different playstyles. Pandiculation's relentless swarm against Zerts' elite precision. It's like throwing a hive fleet into a blender and hitting puree. Honestly, Jace, both matches are too close to call, but I'll have plenty of commentary and probably some loud shouting once the bolter rounds start flying. Let's gear up for the semifinals.
Let's begin. In the first semi-final, it's a Chaos team and the last non-Xenos team in the competition, all the way from Krogar Vermilion, facing the Xenos team of Bloviate. The Krogar Vermilion team is made up of Fandos on Archimatos, Trunkage on Harken Worldclaimer, Mike Spellin on Ahriman, Rickle on Ascor, and the Elder Pete on Abraxas. And the Bloviate team is made up of Omnivore Lupus on Boss Golgorts, Zetherion on Neurothrope, Mark W on Eldrion, Ow My Ankle on the Pattermine, and Austin Robbers on Holland.
Chaos meets wah! Energy in what's set to be a whirlwind of claws, spells, and angry shouting. Krogar Vermilion fought tooth and nail to dismantle Lavam 8, with Harkin Worldclaimer playing Chaos quarterback and Abraxas refusing to die. But Bloviate Neurothrope turned the battlefield into his personal psychic playpen against Quines, and Boss Golgorts probably still has Shosil's helmet as a trophy. Will Harkin finally outwit the wall, or will Neurothrope show him the true power of a curveball smite? Grab your popcorn, it's gonna be messy.
The first semi-final begins, and there are so many great champions on the field, I can't call this match at all. Neurothrope goes after the two enemy psychers in what could be a key battle this match.
I absolutely agree. Let's keep our eyes on that one.
Harkin takes down Holland's Abhorrent Horror, and Ascor is quick to squash the decoy. Abraxas tries to spawn, but there isn't much room for his horrors. It's all a bit tight here. Boss Golgorts doesn't care and wahs into Harkin's face. Neurothrope does a beautiful curveball smite and kills Abraxas. Xenos aren't finished either, as Eldrion and the Pattermine clean up some horrors. The Chaos team decide to focus down Holland, but unless they squash that decoy, he will be back. Ahriman takes a position on the hill. Boss Golgorts is still around and goes for Harkin again, but Neurothrope finishes him off. The Pattermine then closes down Ahriman, and he is dead too. Archimatos isn't finished yet though, and turns Holland into a demon spawn. And that's their second as Ascor kills Neurothrope. If they can survive this round, but no, Archimatos falls for the Pattermine.
That was really close. If Archimatos had just lived, I think they would have won.
But he didn't, and they don't win, with Eldrion picking up that last kill.
Oh, what a clash. This result means it will be an all-Xenos final. Incredible that we don't have any Chaos or Imperial team left in the tournament after that. Neurothrope's curveball smite on Abraxas was pure psychic artistry. I half expected him to take a bow after that one. And Boss Golgorts? Straight into Harkin's face not once but twice. That's some serious personal beef. The Chaos team had glimmers of hope, but in the end, it was Eldrion and the Pattermine who sealed the deal with cold, calculated precision. If Archimatos had clung on just a moment longer, we might have seen a Chaos comeback for the ages. Instead, Bloviate marches on to the grand finale, leaving Krogar Vermilion in the ashes. What a match. What a team.
The final semi-final has two Xenos teams facing off, as Zerts takes on Pendiculation for a place in the final against Bloviate. The Zerts team is Rory Jin Effect on Wing Prime, Mark Donny on Tank Smasher, Jack Elitin on Jane Czar, Ewan Hamilton on Morgan Ra, and Callum Smith on Shadow Sun. And the Pendiculation team is the winner of our first Deathmatch trophy, Leron PK on Revas, Purely Coincidental on Tyrant Guard, Packin' Heat Paladin on Wing Prime, Sir Perfect Prime on Tank Smasher, and last but not least, another member of Leron PK's team in the first final, Kaiten on Jane Czar.
If ever there was a mirror match made in a hive mind's nightmares, this is it. Zerts and Pendiculation are practically cousins. Two Jane Czars, two Tank Smashas, and two Wing Primes walking into a deathmatch. Last round, Pendiculation steamrolled Cinchidar's Forge 6, with Jane Czar making fewer mistakes than usual, and Tank Smasha eating champions for breakfast. Meanwhile, Zerts barely broke a sweat against Moman Viridian, with Maugan Ra racking up kills. Who wins in a mere match of monsters? Whoever can outshout the other, probably. Let's see who's left standing.
This second semi-final looks brutal. I can't separate the teams here either, mainly because they're almost the same. Two Jane Czars, Tank Smashers, and Wing Primes.
They really are seriously tanky teams.
Not surprisingly, the first couple of rounds have not produced any kills.
Or much damage, really.
The Wing Primes are facing off against each other, then Tank Smasher charges the battlefield, absorbs Revas's Overwatch, and lands on Jane Czar.
This is a mess of a battle. Has anyone died yet?
I don't think so.
The first blood is taking longer than some matches have done.
Especially when the Imperials are fighting.
Hey! That's not nice!
I don't think there's a clear leader right now. It's definitely anyone's game. Who will step up and take control of this match? Wing Prime wants to do this as Shadow Sun falls to first blood. Jane Czar and Morgan Ra are taken really low, And we've seen what happens if teams aren't finished off. Tank Smasher starts a fight back, killing Wing Prime and getting revenge for Shadow Sun's death. And then Tyrant Guard kills the Zert's Jane Czar. The other Jane Czar then finishes off Morgan Ra. And Zerts aren't done yet though, combining to take down the mighty Tyrant Guard. Tank Smasher then eats the Zert's Tank Smasher. Wing Prime tries to get some distance and goes after Revas, but it's not enough as Sir Perfect Prime's Tank Smasher gets his second kill of the match, and this incredible slugfest semi-final is done.
Well, that was less a match and more a Tyranid-themed endurance marathon. First Blood took longer than it takes a tech priest to explain binary, but when it came, it was Shadow Sun who bit the dust. Pandiculation played the long game, surviving, outlasting, and ultimately overwhelming Zerts. And for me, it's Sir Perfect Prime's Tank Smasher, who gets my nod for man of the match. What a brutal display.
Wow, what an amazing pair of matches. I think that last one especially was absolutely incredible. Two real titans clashing together. That was something else, wasn't it?
Both matches today delivered on every level. Brutal combat, tactical brilliance, and moments of pure chaos. Now we've got Bloviate and Pandiculation lined up for an all-Xenos grand finale. Two teams that have fought tooth and claw to get here. I cannot wait, Jace. This final's gonna be legendary.
And so we move on to the final. Creed, the only thing left to do is draw which team is green and which team is red. So starting with the green team, we have
Pandiculation.
And that means the red team is
Bloviate.
And Creed, what difference does the side of the map make now that we've seen all the matches?
So this is really interesting to look at because it's currently 19 red wins and 11 green wins. That means teams going second have a 63% chance of victory. That is certainly a significant difference, and I really believe that the deep-diving champions on the green side make up a lot of these losses.
What do you think the answer is for that problem, Creed? How can we make it more fair for all teams? Or is it just the luck of the draw and home advantage is not really a home advantage if you're getting shot in the face?
Well, I think smaller maps definitely swing that advantage to the other way, but the truth is that this is just the luck of the draw. It's all randomized, and so no one really has any true advantage here. In the grim darkness of this far future, there is only war. And in war, there are no winners.
That's wise words from someone that spent their life fighting for survival. And so, Creed, it comes down to this. Two teams ready to fight for that trophy. What are your last words of wisdom for them?
Keep your heads down, your weapons up, and your grudges personal. No one remembers second place. Go big, go bold, and most importantly, don't let me down. Now, let's see some carnage.
And now it's time for the final of the December 2024 Tacticus 5 vs 5 Deathmatch Tournament. It's been an incredible journey to get here, so let's run through the teams. For Pandiculation, their team is Lair on PK on Revas, Purely Coincidental on Tyrant Guard, Pack and Heat Paladin on Wing Prime, Sir Perfect Prime on Tank Smasher, and Kaitin on Jane Czar. And the Bloviate team is made up of Omnivore Lupus on Boss Golgorts, Zetherion on Neurothrope, Mark W on Eldrion, Ow My Ankle on the Pantermine, and Lost in Robbers on Hollin.
On paper, the Bloviate team has the edge as the red team. We've seen that side really dominate in this tournament so far, and with no deep diving champion, I think they should have a good start. It's really great to see two new champions in the lineup as well with the Pantermine and Hollin. It looks like your reviews on these champions were pretty spot on, Jace. They definitely do something. I think the two Psychers, Eldrion and Neurothrope, will really need to watch their positioning, but if they get into a good place, they could cause some real trouble. Finally, Omnivore Lupus on Boss Golgorts is the leader and heart of this team, and it's easy to see that the Boss Golgorts rework has truly made him a great character. My only concern with Bloviate is how they look on paper compared to that Pandiculation team. With Rivas, Tyrant Guard, and Tank Smasher, does the Bloviate team have the damage to get through them? That's a really beefy lineup. So lots to think about, but now, let's get on with the final.
The final starts and Pandiculation team take a defensive position. Golgorts doesn't care though, and as they've done for the rest of their matches, Bloviate go aggressive. Will it pay off against the tankier Pandiculation?
Oh, this is so tense.
Holland's abhorrent horror is taken down, and the decoy's crushed under Tyrant Guard's hooves. Tank Smasher charges and nearly disappears off the end of the map. Holland falls, but his decoy's not popped and he gets back up again. Then the Bloviate sidecars combine to hurt the Pandiculation midline.
I'm not sure they have enough damage for that.
Revas and Tyrant Guard combine together to finish off Holland, and it's first blood of the final going to Tyrant Guard. At the top of the map, there's an unholy war going on. As Xenos hits Xenos, but no one else falls. The Bloviate Psychers then split up, but it's not a good position for them though, as Tyrant Guard kill Neurothrope, Wing Prime finishes Eldryon off, and Tank Smasher kills Boss Golgorts. Only the Pattermine left, and he finishes off Wing Prime, but he has no chance, and Tank Smasher finishes the game with the very last kill of this tournament, and it's over! Pandiculation have won! Incredible! Laren PK and Kaiten 4160 have combined yet again to win the deathmatch. It's unbelievable how much luck this pairing have together. I promise everything is random, so I have no idea how they ended up together again. The gods have been kind to them though, and it means Laren PK will end up with a trophy once more, but this time he will not be alone. His fellow teammates Purely Coincidental 7180, Pack and Heat Paladin, Sir Perfect Prime, and Kaiten 4160 will be joining him on that trophy in the award ceremony we will hold shortly. What did you think of that, Creed?
Pandiculation stood firm, defensive like a hive tyrant guarding its brood, while Bloviate came in swinging with classic orc aggression and blistering psyker power. But sometimes Wah, energy, and cunning plans just aren't enough against relentless Xenos resilience. What an incredible finale and a deserved victory for Pandiculation. Glory to the hive mind!
I can't believe how strong this team has been through the whole tournament, Creed.
Absolutely. What an incredible team performance from Pandiculation throughout the entire tournament, from their solid defensive strategy to the overwhelming presence of Tank Smasher and the precise coordination of Rivas and Tyrant Guard. They've proven themselves time and again as an unstoppable force. Laren PK and Kaiten 4160 must have some kind of pact with the hive mind, or maybe the machine spirit itself, to keep finding themselves on the winning team.
What about the top killer in the tournament? There's no special prize for this. It's only the glory of knowing you made the difference. But who is it?
Unbelievably, we have a tie, with 7 kills each, Zetherian on Neurothrope and Out My Ankle on the Pattermine. Incredibly, both come from the runners-up team, Bloviate. So even though they didn't take this tournament trophy, they can absolutely go home with their heads held very high. I am especially happy to see what the Pattermine can do. I saw your Does the Pattermine Do Anything video, and you gave it a good review. But others have been saying it's pretty weak. I guess we know better now.
So all of the winners will receive a very special pack from Snowprint that contains Revas shards, legendary tombs, and legendary orbs. But that's not all, because all of the runners-up will also receive a pack as well. They're going to get a slightly smaller pack with Holland shards. The reason for the characters, Revas was in the winning and we haven't seen him being used in battle passes recently, and Holland's a new character and was also in the runner-up team. If you were one of the finalists or one of the runners-up, contact me on Discord to get your prize. Thank you to everyone for making this a very special tournament. All of your messages of support throughout this has made the effort worthwhile. It took a lot of time to build this tournament for you. Hundreds of hours have gone into it, but I always want to create a giveaway event that is worthy of the great game that we spend so much time playing. I really want this video to get lots of views though, so please do spread the word around as much as you can. For some reason, it doesn't matter what I do with the death matches, they never get too much views, and with the hours that goes into it, it makes it really difficult to justify me making them. So the more people that watch it, the more tournaments I'm able to put on. But for this one, it's been an awesome tournament to put together. The new champions have a great place in the game, and I'm just so happy that we saw some of them in the final. And as always, Castellan Creed just takes on a whole life of his own. I really feel like he is a real character and my real life co-commentator. Of course, a hearty thank goes out to Tech Praised Fred for his support as well in the matches. If you didn't win, there will be more death matches in future for sure, and so I just hope that you can enjoy this as a spectacle. If you've got any feedback about future death matches, how we can make it better, fairer, and bear in mind that this did take hundreds of hours already, so I can't physically go higher than 160 players or around 30 games in reality, but otherwise, let me know on Discord or below. So now, just before we turn our attention to the award ceremony for the Pandiculation team, Creed, do you have any final words of wisdom for all our competitors and viewers in the grim dark of the far future?
Glory is fleeting, survival is uncertain, and every hero is just one unlucky dice roll away from disaster. But remember, whether you're wielding a chain sword, chanting a war hymn, or bashing skulls with an orc chopper, it's not about how many enemies you fell. It's about how loud you shouted while doing it. So, to all warriors, commanders, and fans, stand tall, fight hard, and never forget, the Emperor, or your respective horrifying alien hive mind, is watching. Until next time, Cadia stands.
People of Pandiculation, today your can stand as the finest warriors of the Maw. You have proven that even amidst the storms and chaos of this gas giant, greatness can thrive. This world, your world, has set a new standard for valor, skill, and ingenuity. But remember, the Emperor's Maw hungers still. This victory is not an end. It is only the beginning. In the battles to come, your name will echo across the galaxy. Panticulation will forever be a beacon of triumph, a testament to the will to survive and conquer. Hail to your champions.
This is it, Varric. I'm done. I've given you the best fighters the galaxy has to offer. The tournament's over, and so is my part in it. I'm out.
Out, oh Grek. You don't just walk away from the Maw. You were born in the dirt, scraping for survival. Do you really think the galaxy will let you rise above it? You belong here with me.
Not anymore. My debt's paid. You've had your spectacle. This isn't my fight anymore.
You think you're free, Lieutenant? You think you've won? The Maw isn't just a tournament. It's life itself. It's the survival of the strongest, the blood and glory that fuels the galaxy's hunger. And no matter where you go, no matter how far you think you've run, the Maw will find you. I will find you. Enjoy your freedom, Grek. But remember, there's always